Hi, welcome to the channel again. This is the follow-up to the What Did I Buy? And if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. But basically, I picked up some kind of a dirt track thing. And with that, I wanted what was underneath, which was a B5, which is the rear motor team associated B5. And so I've got some more parts in. So today we're going to put those parts on. And I have a body I'm gonna cut out and paint. So it will be, by the end of this, it will be a buggy. Let's hope so. All right, well, back at the bench. So I pulled the motor off. I still don't know what version of a 17.5 R1 this is. If you know, let me know. But I'm not gonna be running this. So I looked through my motors and I forgot I sold off all my 13.5s. So I found an 8.5, an old Orion. That's too much motor really, but I may throw it on just to see what it does. I can gear it down, I guess. But so I got more parts. I got the motor guard and the body. Let's see here. This is the Boca Racing body, or Boki, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm looking at it, it's a clone of the original one. I mean, I remember how it was. So they probably, I don't know what they did, but maybe they got the original mold or something, and they make it. And it has a wing in there. And then the other thing I got here, this is the, I believe it's the shock towers and the wing and those mounts and stuff. So front and rear shock towers, the mounts for the wing and the body. So we'll go ahead and put these on. But so let's get to putting these things on, and then we'll have to paint the body. All right, so I got, I think, all the screws I need. So these are need to come out. They're the wrong screws anyway for adding that. And I was looking at the shock towers. This is exactly the same, so I have a spare shock tower. I guess that's good. But the front, this is a carbon fiber one on it, and then it came with the plastic one. But putting them side by side, you can flip it upside down, you can see the carbon fiber one's a little wider. I don't know that I need it to be wider. In fact, probably, I might put this on if I want to lay the shocks down more. But I'm going to leave it on here for now. That's really the only difference. I was worried that the height was different, and it looks exactly the same, it's just wider. You can go farther out on the mounts if you want to stand the shocks up, which you pretty much don't. But I have a spare now front bumper. But luckily they sent the screws with the motor mount, or the wing mount. So put those on real quick, and then the motor mount. But the electronics, so I reached out to R1 Works about the digital tube and no reply. Not super surprised. I mean, it's older product. They don't, for their business model, you know, they don't need to maintain all their old stuff. So I think I'll run it anyway. Blinky mode isn't really going to hurt me. I don't need turbos or whatever, and I'm going to run a bigger motor. So the no reverse is the thing that annoys me. I really need that for where I'm racing it. And instead of Spectrum, I'm going with, well, it's Futaba. This is an off-brand, but I'm going to connect it to my 4PL. Okay, so let's flip this over. Let's turn it around. I'm gonna put, so this says R, so that's gonna be the right side. Screws. This looks too long to me, but I didn't look it up. It was already in the bag. So then these little things go up here. Oh yes, I'm missing a screw that goes through it. I'll have to look up and see what screw that is. Oh, this is right. Tighten this. There we go. Now I've got a little wing mount. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look up and see what screw goes through here. I like that it's starting to look like a buggy again. I'm curious if they ever ran it as a buggy, or if they immediately bought it and turned it into the dirt oval thing, whatever that class is. There, right there. So I bought a kit, or my Pro 2 when I got it. It was really bad. So I stripped it down, rebuilt it with picked up a stainless steel screw kit. And so these are, oddly enough, there was a bunch of extras and some missing ones, so it wasn't a really good kit, but it had 90% of what I needed, and then a bunch of spares. So, but that's good. I got spares for things like this project. I like getting kind of jacked up old RCs and restoring them. It's funny how much people do it wrong. Like I guess I'm kind of doing some of these wrong, but they like they don't look at the manual. They just go, oh, this looks right, and all the screws are mixed matched and not the right length and not even close. But so I either think it's like people just buy one RC, work on it, they don't have other parts, they don't care, or don't look at the manual. Maybe it's some kids that are just doing what they can do. I don't know. Ooh, love that. Now the last little bit here for the back is the mount for the body, which after thinking about it, I probably don't even need this, but I got it because most of the time you run Velcro down the side of the body and then on the chassis and then on the side of the body, so it's all just Velcro pops off. But whatever, I got that. So, but I needed these anyway. That's really all I bought it for, but I'll take everything. So that's that. And I looked at the electronics. I bought a piece that goes across here. It's for the receiver, but I think I can fit this in here. But anyway, just roughly, because this is the last thing anyway. And then I can fit the receiver up in there. So, I mean, that's more or less how it'll go. I mean, I'll have to obviously route these all the right way. So I think that's all the parts I have that I'm going to put on. It's really a buggy now. Now it needs the body, tires, electronics, but I like it. Okay, so this is the body. I'm going to look through the paint that I have and see. I'm just going to kind of go with whatever. But it came with a wing and the mask offs for the windows. Okay, so yeah, this is Boki Racing. Boki Race Engineering. So usually what you do is you wipe off the inside with alcohol, and then you put on your window covers. At least that's how I do it. I know people use like gel. It's a gel stuff that you put in there, and then they do special neat bodies. I don't have that talent, and this is just going to be a who cares. I mean, I want it to look okay, but I'm just going to get whatever rattle cans I have, and let me do clean the body, put these on, and then we'll get the cans out and start painting. And oh yeah, I got some mini bodies in here. Probably should sell the. Oh, I was looking for this. Good find. Oh wait, is that just the cable? No, that's just the cable. Who cares? I need the little part. Anyway, whatever. So I have an unopened red, which most of my bodies are red. Maybe red. I've got fluorescent red, some kind of a copper, blue, blue, metallic blue, orange, green, gold, and fluorescent orange. I got nice bodies in here. Wait, what was servo? I wonder if this is any good. I'll leave that out. I'll check it out. See what, anything else in here. Okay, so here's my palette that I get to work with. Tell me what you would pick. I got copper, orange, green, gold, red, a couple of blues, and a couple of fluorescent reds. I might do just red. I can't get fancy. I'd maybe do two-tone, but maybe do a little orange to red fade. See how that goes. Alright, so my technique for doing quick and dirty is I use a heat gun to warm it up. That seems to help have the paint adhere better. Just kind of warm it up, and then I'm gonna have it rattled, and then just kind of lay it on little layers at a time. And between layers, then I'll heat gun it, let it sit for like 5 minutes, paint it, heat gun it, till it feels like there's enough coverage. But I'm just gonna do a little kind of fade forward. If I had a critique of these bodies, the window masks they're too big and they don't like peel off. Like I'm used to the associated ones or whatever where they just peel right off. These ones like split in the paper. You can see it sort of drying as you look at it. You don't want to get it too hot because it will melt. So you can feel it warm on the outside. Just a little bit. Then I'll let that sit for like 5 minutes and then just continue adding paint until it's done. But I realize there's not any contrast. There's a little bit darker, but you won't be able to see it when it's on it. I don't care. This is a down and dirty paint job. And then the last technique, or the last step, would be to put a different color. If you want it to be brighter, you do like a white and then darker a black, and you can do like different metallics to sort of change it. But I have a whole bunch of this copper that I don't know I'm going to use anymore, so I'm going to back it all in copper. See how that looks here. Okay, well, the wing I'm going to cut out real quick, but the body, this needs to dry, but I kind of like the copper. I wish it would have been copper on the outside. That's pretty, but like here the mask is too long, comes down a lot farther, but it'll work. It's not, I don't know, I've never really cared too much about super fancy bodies, but it is what it is. But I like these scissors. They're like wing scissors or body scissors. They have a little angle to them, so it's easy to kind of cut the corners, like especially around the edges like that. I'll do that all off camera, but I think I'll get the body trimmed when it's dry, get this trimmed, put the electronics in, and then we'll see it together in the final iteration. It already looks good now though. I like it. And it's gonna be buggy again, like it should be. All right, it's the next day. Body's dry. So let's quickly cut this out and put it on the buggy and see how it looks. Got her cut out. Just doing a test fit. It really goes on here tight. I'm a little confused. I thought it was easier than this, but I guess it's not too bad. Ooh, there's a buggy there. Still need to drill the hole out for the pin mount here, front and back. Back in the day, we trimmed this off. There's a little bump there for where you put the body mount, and then you just use Velcro down the sides. I think I'm going to stick with this, mainly because you can't get this part anymore, and I don't want to modify it. And I'm not going to trim it off the top plate either. So I'm going to get the reamer, ream out the holes, put it there. There's a little cutout. I don't know, there's a little cutout here on this, but I don't know exactly what that's for. Maybe it was on the original one. I'm not gonna cut it out. It helps cover things up. I might eventually. So, but I'll ream those out. But before I do that, let's do the best part, peeling off all this stuff. Here we go. See if I can get an edge. Well, let me see if I can get the windows masks off first. Then we'll see what the quality of these are. If they leave a residue or not. Let's see. It's pretty clean. I guess there's a little bit of residue on the edges. It's pretty color though. And get the next one. Not too bad. And they come right off. Pretty clean. Again, this is not, oh, there's some residue. Whole bunch of residue there. Maybe I can tear it this way. That's annoying. There we go, the tape method, it's pulling it up. It'll stick to itself. Now the best part. Oh man, oh there we go. I was gonna Dremel out some of the edges and clean it up, but I can do that after this. Ooh, it looks good. Well, you can't see the fade much. I mean, that's the orange to red. There's so much. I mean, you can see it a little bit, but anyway, that's a pretty body. Okay, reamed out the holes with the body reamer. And I think back in the day we cut off like the little nose extra piece here. Leave in the comments whether I should cut that off. It makes it easier to install on the vehicle. But now, I know there was a method to it too. I don't know if it was front to rear or what, but so there we go. She's a buggy again. I've got to install electronics and I got to find tires. I looked through my tires and, well, I couldn't find any of my buggy ones except for the indoor ones. So I need to find my outdoor ones. Although these are outdoor tires. What are they called? Oh, these are Traxxas. Traxxas something. Responders. Traxxas Responders? Something like that. I mean, they seem like they'd be okay for dirt. But I have a whole bunch of tires. Hopefully I didn't get rid of them. Found a little problem. As I was trying to put the ESC in there, this cap wire broke. It was barely hanging on. So I'm gonna unsolder it and, well, yeah, get what's there out of there and then solder it back up. One thing I found about the manufacturing, like with the solder they use, I don't know if it's a higher temp or what, but it takes a lot to get those to come loose. But I need to rip that off, solder on a new piece. I mean, strip this and solder it back on. See if the other side's bad too. That's fine. All right, we got it soldered back on there. Nice and solid. Okay, so the buggy is pretty much done. I don't know why I said it in slow motion, but anyway, so the electronics are in here. I found out that this piece showed up. It's the, what is this? The receiver mount. It goes across right here. It mounts at this hole to that hole. Well, because of the fan, I can't put this on. If I had a smaller, I mean, there's some speed controls that are a lot lower, don't have a fan on them, and I could take that one off. I could put it in there. However, I realized I can push the capacitor pack up behind the shock tower. I don't know if you can see that. Not really. But anyway, it's kind of behind the shock tower, and then the receiver fits next to it. So I'm not throwing this away. I may, if I get a different speed control or I don't know, something. Yeah, I'm not throwing it away, but it did finally show up. So all the pieces that I wanted are here, and it is working as is. But the one thing I have to do is I want to switch this out for bullet connectors, because this is just silly having all this wiring. And then, oh, over here I'll show you. Well, it took me a while to find them, but so I went through one of my old boxes of tires, and I pulled out all the buggies that I had. So there's a few here. Problem is, as far as outdoor, I only had a few pair, because I have a bunch of like slicks and stuff for different layout or different surfaces. These are indoor, but they aren't very good. We have some like clay type, these ones here, and then some smoothies. So we've run a lot of different surfaces: clay, carpet, AstroTurf, and so we've gone through a lot of tires, and for whatever reason I don't throw them away. But I think I found these tires. They are Jaycon something. I don't see what it is. I found the Jaycons, then I found some of these. These are also Jaycons too, but they have like a lot better grip. Except for this one's got like a slick spot. But these are in good shape. Let's see these. I have enough tires. I'm going to put some tires on it. I'm going to do the bullet connector, and then I need to do like the setup adjustment. But basically this one's done, so I want to throw this back together and do a little test drive here for you. No reverse. So there she is. Of course, tires and a little bit of a setup. But which one do you like better? The buggy or this dirt track body? To be honest, I kind of like the dirt track body. As far as if I had a whole bunch, a bunch of dudes, we all got together and race these, that would be a blast. But that's not the case. And I love the buggy. And
I think it looks good. It's gonna race good. Excited.
Oh, I got one more comparison.
So I brought out my B7, my indoor race truck, compared to the B5. So here's my B7, and if you just look at his low comparatively, I mean, this thing's way up in the sky. And obviously some adjustment differences, but apparently I like this red because that's what I use on both of them. But the width is very similar between them. Actually, the B5 is a little narrower. Obviously got the rear motor off the back. This is mid motor. And let's see if I can get one-handed. So that's my race buggy. This one I have the R1 Works 3 gear. It is like the thing that turned this on. Like, it is, if you're gonna do any modification, that 3 gear made the biggest difference for me. And like, it woke it up. And so then we had this one. Obviously you just saw it, but pop it off here. It's you know, similar layout, I guess. Well, not really. Completely different layout, except for the servo, because you have your batteries this direction compared to sideways, motors in the front and so the back. Wheelbase looks identical, but indoor, outdoor. Okay, what RC is that? Well, now it's a B5. Officially converted it. There's little tweaks to do, but it's now a buggy. I can't wait to be racing it and look forward to seeing you again. Like and subscribe. You can pick up some merch. That'd be great. Help with the track build, and hopefully get to the track build soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.